to re-attend and pass a food safety course before they can resume work. SFA has also stopped Kimono, a business partner, from preparing Kinhoi's online deliveries. The eatery will have to disinfect its food preparation surfaces and floors.
A group of more than 30 employers and business owners have held their first discussions as part of longer-term aims to help national servicemen in areas like career building, training and upskilling. They say that the move will ensure more structured talks to co-create ground-up ideas. The senior leaders come from organizations like MNCs, SMEs and trade associations. Some have already implemented pro-NS policies and practices within their respective firms. Examples of the ideas include a career transformation program for NS men seeking new job opportunities and skills upgrading in logistics and supply chain management. There's also a fitness app to encourage pre-enlistees and NS men to work out and earn rewards. Discussions on some of the ideas are still in the preliminary stages.
National University of Singapore researchers have come up with a new type of concrete that's greener and stronger. It's made with waste marine clay, a material generated from excavation and construction works. Such materials are usually thrown away, but the scientists have found new ways to use it. The clay can replace up to half the amount of sand typically needed to produce concrete. This reduces the need for sand, which can be a scarce resource. The researchers also found the marine clay concrete to be 3 times more durable than normal concrete. They say the new concrete measures up to existing performance requirements. The scientists are working with soil-built construction to pilot the material in an upcoming project.
We are going to start with some of these smaller projects, such as on pavement, and also trying to test maybe in some of the structural elements which could be tested out in a safer manner. And then before we move on to more extensive adoption by the industry. So these projects can provide the greater assurance.
Singapore's public sector is changing the way it buys from suppliers. It's also making sure infrastructure designs are more sustainable. These are part of efforts to lead the charge towards a low-carbon economy. Minister for Sustainability and the Environment, Grace Fu, said that this means raising the standard of energy and water efficiency of suppliers.
We looked at the practices that they adopt in the procurement, in the manufacturing process, so that when we support them in buying their products, we're basically sending a very, very strong signal that this is what we believe in, this is how we will use our resources to give these products and services a big push in the market.
Ms. Fu added that infrastructure and policy changes are needed to enhance waste management. Starting with e-waste, there will be more dedicated collection bins in the community this year. She says passing on the cost of collection and recycling to manufacturers of electronic devices could make Singaporeans more mindful of generating waste.
We hope that these e-waste collected better can actually be recycled and generating useful feedstock in downstream processes. When we do that, it's just like water. We're able to reuse the resources many, many times over.
And that brings Singapore Tonight to a close. Headlines anytime at CNA.Asia.
And you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter as well. Bye for now.
When disaster strikes in Asia, Singapore is the first port of call.
Actually, the second I turned around, I saw a wall of yellow and orange.
There was an emergency exit, but it was engulfed in flames. I turned back to look for Alan, and he was terribly burnt.
It was one of the worst earthquakes in Nepal in nearly 100 years.
Doctors who have gone beyond the call of duty.
Our team have never faced a disaster of such a magnitude before.
We had to act fast. We had to act decisively.
Are you in or not? You need to answer me now.
To save lives that hang to the balance.
We could not rely on conventional methods and had to be creative.
I got a call to come back to the hospital, which made my heart stop.
Into the Unknown, Doctors on Call, premiering 2nd of May, Sunday on CNA.
Every day, the financial world goes through dramatic rise and falls. We'll track the biggest market movers and show you where the opportunities lie. Get the experts' take on the performance of key indices. Plus all the analysis to help you understand forces driving global economies. The daily business news you need, only on CNA. This segment is brought to you by Xeon Corporation.
A crippling pandemic, a devastated economy, and a deeply divided nation.
I don't think there's been a president that has faced the confluence of crises that Biden faced.
Has America lost its global leadership in the face of a rising superpower?
His promises right now is China will not become the #1 leader.
Can he rise up to the challenge? Biden's first 100 days. Insight, tonight on CNA.
In India, a cosmetic surgery that can make you taller.
If there is a most dangerous cosmetic procedure, I would say this is it.
A highly invasive operation that has left some crippled.
2-3 साल में बहुत तकलीफ में था, मैं चल नहीं सकता था.
Undercover Asia asks why such risks are being taken to be taller. Undercover Asia, Saturday on CNA.
Myanmar, opening its doors to the world, but still, much work is needed. The journey hasn't been easy, with pressure from within and without. Twists and turns line the way, but even when it's down, this country never stops trying. This is a country that can bank on its people. People who have the power to chart Myanmar's path. And people who have stories to tell the world.
This is Asia First.
It's 7 a.m. here in Singapore. Good morning. I'm Julie Yu. Our top story this hour. Time is the enemy in the search for a missing submarine off Bali. More than 24 hours and counting since contact was lost with the vessel, carrying 53 people. The Indonesian Navy keeping up a frantic search. I'm Teresa Tang. Also this morning, Russia's red lines. President Vladimir Putin warns the West it will regret taking any actions that threaten his country's core security interests. A toughly worded State of the Nation speech delivered on the same day police arrest more than 1,000 supporters of jailed and dangerously ill opposition leader Alexei Navalny. And President Biden's bold pledge, the U.S. leader is expected to announce his country will cut greenhouse gas emissions by nearly half by the end of this decade, ahead of his global climate change summit. This morning on Asia First, we examine the economic cost of cutting carbon. I'm Avril Hong with your business news. What goes down must come up. Wall Street snaps 2 straight days of losses. Plus, find out why shares of Norwegian Cruise Line are riding a wave despite the fact that its ships still aren't at sea because of the pandemic. And we'll look at why those so-called blank check company transactions known as SPACs have stalled in the U.S. Well, Indonesia is racing to find one of its submarines which has gone missing. The 44-year-old German-made vessel was conducting torpedo drills off the coast of Bali early yesterday before it lost contact. An aerial search found an oil spill near the submarine's dive location. 53 crew are on board the vessel. The Navy says an electrical failure may have occurred during the dive, and that would have caused the submarine to lose control and be unable to surface. Indonesia has asked some of its neighbors to help in the search for the sub, with Australia saying it will pitch in. Sakfar Ismail has more on ongoing search efforts.
Indonesia's Armed Forces Chief Hadi Cahyanto has instructed all of the country's naval assets that have the capability to conduct surface and underwater search to be deployed to look for the submarine. Air Marshal Hadi told local media that there are 53 crew on board the submarine KRI Nanggala. And the last time contact was made with the submarine was early Wednesday morning at around 4:30 a.m. local time. It lost contact during a torpedo firing exercise. Authorities realized something was wrong when the submarine failed to relay the results of the drill as expected. Now, Air Marshal Hadi himself is in Bali and he's supposed to observe the Navy exercise on Thursday.